What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be playing around with a title called Hordes of Hunger. This is an interesting one that's kind of playing on that idea that I've expressed previously, that I think that Dynasty Warriors style gameplay goes very, very well with a roguelite core gameplay loop. This game is also playing around with that idea. So today we're going to be playing Hordes of Hunger for about 30 minutes, and if I had to describe it to you, it is a run-based game in a zombie apocalypse where you are a medieval warrior fighting your way through endless hordes of ghouls and zombies, the undead, all that kind of stuff, with a combat system that exists somewhere in between The Witcher, somewhere in between Dynasty Warriors, and somewhere in between, like, even there's like a strong Vampire Survivors influence here as well, even though it's not the exact same gameplay. There's pairing, maybe a little bit of Batman Arkham Asylum in there as well, and so I've enjoyed my time with the game. It's not without its flaws, but it is enjoyable and it does feel good to play, so that's what we're gonna do. 30 minutes of Hordes of Hunger. I'll try to give you my first impressions of the game. I've played for probably about 2.5 hours now, but it was on a press branch with everything unlocked, and then I played this account a little bit to go from the beginning and see the differences between the two, just to make sure that I wasn't missing anything by having everything unlocked from the start. But I think we're gonna have a good time here today. Link to the game is down below in the description. On top of that, you can find a bunch of other Nerd Castle links down there, but let's hit it. So let's just start off a mission, because I can show you like the base camp portion of the game a little bit later once we get done here. A run in this game is not honestly altogether... Oh my god, there's zombies everywhere. Okay, let's not mess with you guys. Let's get them with a big stab right there just to knock them on out of the way, and at its core level, this game has very simple combat. If you've played The Witcher 2, if you've played The Witcher 1, if you've played The Witcher 3, you will be right at home with this game's combat system, because it's basically just that with the pirouettes and the spins and everything else. The only difference is it's got the Batman Arkham Asylum thing going on, where you can parry enemies. Anytime you see that yellow flash, you hit the E key, and your character will attach to the enemy character into a fat AoE that bypasses defenses and basically wipes out the field. But mostly you're going to be left-clicking and using light attacks. Your right-click is going to be a spinning whirlwind attack like you've seen the Barbarian do in Diablo, but we've got to level up right now that we've got to play around with. So leveling up in this game functions almost identically to what you would expect from a game like Vampire Survivors. Almost every single thing you're going to find in here is an auto-firing attack or an auto-casting spell or something like that that just gives you supplementary DPS while you're out here fighting with the enemy. However, each one of these that you take also modifies the visuals of your character in some way. So for example, I had one that made it so every 40 seconds I negate an attack when I get hit and I take 0 damage, and anytime that ability was off cooldown and ready to go, I had a giant golden angelic breastplate on. Every single ability in the game does something like that, which gives it a delightful sort of Risk of Rain 2 feel, where your character gets more and more ridiculous looking and has more and more spinning orbs and magic objects and things around you as you get further on into a round. I'm going to go with Holy Bolt, because this right here, it's a giant severed eye that follows around us, and it shoots a holy bolt at enemies, and I would like to have that, so I'm going to confirm it real fast. The reason why I like this ability is that this game also incorporates sort of like Dark Souls-y ideas into it when it comes to the combat. The enemies in this game don't just have HP, they also have posture, just like you would come to expect from another action game. And when your abilities hit them, there's a chance that it will break their posture, and in breaking their posture, it's really useful with like the armored guys, for example, that we're fighting right now, because it creates an opening where you can smack them. Otherwise, they're just like hugely annoying. We can get Holy Bolt level 2, which will make the cooldown faster and it'll increase the damage, or we can get Fist of the Heavens, which strikes an enemy with lightning every 2 seconds. I'll diversify a bit. Let's get the lightning strike. Lightning strikes sound pretty good to me. The dash in this game is very, very generous. It does allow you to kind of like, ooh, get him with the whirlwind, get him with the whirlwind, then get him with the big one. There it is. We've got Fist of the Heavens level 2 here, or I can take Fire Weapon, which does exactly what it says on the tin. It adds 5 fire damage to my sword, and it makes my sword into a badass legendary flaming blade that follows me around. I'll probably go with Fist of the Heavens too, though, because like we want to have a couple of abilities maxed out that are really giving the enemy the old smackaroonies. Rage is also kind of understated here. It means that every time I level up, I get 2% more damage. And if you get this up to level 3, that damage could be considerable, but you'd have to be lucky enough to get it in your first couple level ups, because my experience with the game so far is that like on an average round, you'll probably hit like level 20 to 25. At least that seems to be where I stall out on leveling up by the time I kill the boss. And so you could potentially, if you get it in the right order, get like an extra 60 or 70% damage with that fully leveled up. But you'd have to get really lucky with the order that the ability comes up. Let's go ahead and stay away from all these goobers over here. I haven't even explored the level yet. That's the worst part. Let me grab my XP. That right there is a feather. It's a metagame currency that allows you to level up your character in between rounds. That right there is an apple. You have storage where you can put food items and things like that inside your inventory to heal yourself on the fly while you're running around. Another thing you can potentially get just off the map are keys. There are chests hidden all over every single map that you play in this game, and when you open up a chest, you have a chance to get a bunch of metagame currency. You might get a full-on weapon. I haven't seen one yet, so I don't know that you can get full weapons. You might get weapon parts, because this game also allows you to craft your own weapons in between runs. I think there's 4 or 5 different weapon types. I think there's knuckles, there's swords, there's spears, there's two-handed hammers, and I feel like I'm missing one right now. I feel like there's another one that I'm forgetting to bring up, and they all have their own fighting styles and animations. I'll probably go with Holy Bolt level 2 just to get that thing's ability to knock the enemy around kind of tuned up a little bit. Bunch more enemies down right there. Took a little bit of damage, unfortunately. I would actually really love to get some kind of ability that allows me to... Oh, the enemies all died. Okay, I would like to get some kind of ability that allows me to heal myself. There's not just weapon enchantments and auto-casting abilities inside the rotation. There's also utilities. I had one that gave me a swarm of bats around me whenever I would dash, and the bats would bite all the enemies around you and drain their health to give you health back. I liked that one quite a lot. Let's go with Fist of the Heavens level 3, just to get it done. That way we don't have to worry about it diluting our pool anymore of potential upgrades. And now that we've completed that wave, we get a little bit of a breather period. You'll see the meter on the left-hand side of the screen. This is probably a decent time to go through some of the UI. So on the left-hand side with the Diablo-looking skull and the trees on that meter over there, that is how far into the round that you are. Every time there's a tree on that track, it means that it is a sanctuary round, which means all the enemies freeze, and you have an opportunity to extract and take all the stuff you've gotten with you, instead of dying if you feel like you're struggling. And then from there, once you get up to the skull, that's going to be the final boss. The green meter that you see in the bottom left-hand corner is my focus. It's what allows me to whirlwind, basically a mana bar, if you wanted to think about it like that. We've also got our dash down there, which I'll trigger so you can see where it's at. I do wish that was a little bit more visible and closer to the character on screen, but I really haven't had that many problems timing out my dashes because I think the cooldown's only like 4 seconds. Red meter, that's going to be our health. White meter is our XP. And then the thing flashing down there, that's my Q ability, letting me know that it's off cooldown and it's ready to go, so that I can blow up like an entire string of enemies. Ooh, lots of XP up here. Some very, very nice verticality to this level, which I didn't expect. I kind of made a little edit right there so that I could run around the level and explore a little bit and just like mentally mark the points of interest. And the cathedral lets you get like way high up into the air. I don't know if we take fall damage if we jump off of this thing, nor do I know if I can jump high enough to make it happen, but I do like the sense of scale and the respect for verticality. They didn't just make like a linear map here. This thing is stacked up and going in different directions and giving you sort of like diverse vistas and things to look at. When you're ready for the next round, just talk to the question mark or interact with the question mark.
Run! Get out of here! Hordes of beasts are coming! Leave everything and run! Save yourselves! Get away from here, girl!
Okay, so my mission here is to stop this preacher guy from making a racket out of everything. Gotcha, he's summoning in way too many bad guys. There is dialogue in this game. I have found the voice acting to actually be quite well done, and in fact, an especially bright point for this game is the soundtrack. I don't know who did the soundtrack for this game, but they went hard for what is effectively like a little hack and slash game. Like, the soundtrack is pretty dope. I don't like any of these abilities, so I'm going to use my one reroll. We can get health for killing enemies, but if we use a healing item, we get half as much healing. I am going to take that because I think having healing utilities is actually kind of important in this game, just because there's a limited number of healing items like on the map when you play through, And if you end up using them all up, really all you have to fix yourself with are your utilities. Travel down that way. That was a nice little heal right there, too. Let's get back in here, knock him around a little bit with my focus. Little parry right there. I need to go, actually, where did the preacher go? I forgot. We're supposed to be killing the preacher. Let's make it so we get 0.6 health per kill, because I like the sound of that, although I just ate one to the face, unfortunately. Focus is back. Where'd this guy go to, dude? Oh, he's over there? All right, let's go see if we can find him. I don't have a sprint or anything else like that, so we've got to do this manually and chase his ass down. There he is. I finally caught up with him, dude. This guy is kiting me like crazy right now. He is actually being a headache. I'm going to try to stay on. Oh, no. So every now and again, there's like these worm things that come up from the ground. They don't even like deal damage. They just stop you in place, which during like a chase sequence like we're in right now can be a little bit stressful. I'll take tenacity. That gives me more health every time that I level up, which I think will be important. There's some guys in this game and some bosses that can hit pretty chunky, and so I think having a little bit of extra HP is not the worst idea. You just saw the camera freak out right there. That is a thing. This game has two different camera modes. One of the camera modes is where you control it manually like a third-person hack and slasher, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. I prefer the manual camera mode, but there's also an automatic camera mode where it swaps to like a very high up angle that I think is prescribed based on what area of the map that you're in. It seems like they're preset camera points basically, and so when you're on manual mode, solid possibility that every now and again the camera's gonna wonk out on you. It hasn't caused me to die or anything else like that, but it is one of those things that has come up every now and again that you just got to learn to deal with. I need to stay on this guy. Oh my god. He's moving so quick though. He's got these little worms blocking me off too. Where are you trying to go? What you trying to do? You ain't doing nothing. You getting hit with this special ability is what you're getting. I'm about to whoop the teeth out of that mangy head of yours, bro. Come on, come here. I don't like chasing you around all day. I do think that the addition of having objectives inside of a game like this is very, very smart, too.
Sanctum.
Of course. Come, my friend. You did good. It's time to rest.
Well, there you go.
But I need to. I still need to.
I'll probably take the extra HP per level up here, just because there's certain abilities you get that will nerf your HP by like 20 or 30, and I would like to take one of those abilities if I possibly can and use the bonus HP that I'm accruing right now to take those really powerful abilities, because normally it's supposed to be like a big nerf to your character, but if I can just get free HP with every level up, I can buy those and get all the extra DPS for free. I'm going to run around and collect all my stuff. One thing that I wish would happen is I wish that all the XP and whatnot, like, sucked into your character, like the XP and the currency when you got done with a round, but it doesn't as of right now. I will take 5 extra damage on my weapon. I think I mostly collected all of my pickups, so let's just start the next round. So it looks like the Horde's grunts are scavenging what little supplies are left, and we need to stop them. This is basically a much less tanky version of the last objective that we did, and so this shouldn't be that hard to put together. I think these little guys with the swords, Banebringers, cast a debilitating curse. Your damage is capped at 1 when it's active. Kill them quickly. Oh good, new enemy varieties. Love to see it. This guy over here is the one that we gotta get. Oh, my super attack didn't get him. My dash will let me catch up with him, but I don't have any movement speed bonuses right now, so that's kind of problematic. Hey, Holy Blade, that's what I was looking for. 20 HP, we lose, but we gain an extra 1 to 10 damage on every swing, which does stack with our fire enchant, so we've got like Holy Fire on our weapon right now. The downside is, once you have all these spell effects and things going off, it can be incredibly difficult to see the little parry triggers that are yellow on screen. It is a problem that I have frequently run into where I have so many awesome magical spell effects flying everywhere that I fundamentally cannot see the enemy to parry them a lot of the time. And so that is one of those little weaknesses this game has with all the visual fare that they've managed to work into it. Unfortunately, it does kind of get in the way of you timing your parries as well. However, I do think that it makes for quite the visual spectacle, and I think with our regeneration, we should be good, even catching tags, because we're getting like 1 HP per kill now, right? That means with one super attack, I can get 15 or 20 health back. I will upgrade my fire aura to give me just a little bit of extra damage right there, because I do find that if you don't get some single target wired into your weapon, final bosses can be very, very tanky. And so I'd like to have a little bit of focused single target damage before we get there, because we're doing a pretty good job with random spell casts and things right now. It looks like there's maybe one over here. There is indeed. There he is. Got him and one-shotted him. So luckily these little guys only take like one love tap before they go down. We're at 118 right now. Good. We're at full health. That's exactly where I like to be. Honestly, I feel like our auto fire is more or less just clearing this thing for me. But I do like the fact that every single element in this game like has kind of like a lightning-y thing going on. I like that holy is just yellow lightning, because then I can get lightning and also holy lightning, which just makes me feel like the thunder god, and it's, you know, something that I feel like I've always aspired to. I feel like I'd make a really, really good thunder god. I feel like if the job position is open, I would like to apply for it, and I definitely think that my resume should be considered. Like, I get that there's a big gap in my resume. That's largely due to the fact that I spent the last 15 years talking to myself on the internet. But I think if you give me a chance, you'll be really pleased with the results. My thunder godding, truly next level, like unbelievable. There is no time limit on a lot of the objectives, so you can farm up levels as you desire to do so. Let's take the final level of Bloodlust. That way we're getting one back on every single kill, because we're at the point now where we're really churning and burning and killing everything off really easily. And so we're just getting passive regeneration from our lightning and our spells going off, killing stuff and like breaking their poise. This guy over here, we got to catch him. I think he's the last one, but I'm not so sure about it. Just jump over the top of them. He's got to loop back because it's a dead end. And down he goes. The quest is over. We'll dash attack all of them over there. Just kind of clear the field a little bit. Give them a little whirlwind action. Yup, they don't want the whirlwind. They don't want the smoke. Okay, good. I feel very solid about where we're at right now. For each charge, your jump attack will deal 4 thunder damage. I don't really want that. Swiftness seems nice, but I'm gonna get fire damage aura, because 5 damage is respectable in a game where like a fully upgraded ability does 12 damage. Like a 5 damage tick 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 will add up over time. Are you guys still spawning even though we're in between rounds? You guys just come through the gate? Huh. Alright, well let's carry on and go hit the next part of the quest. Alright, let's start this thing up. I've collected as much XP as I can. Hunt the Harbingers. Oh, this is the champion one, so we've got elites on the field right now. These guys can hit like a truck, but honestly, our build is so OP right now that I'm not truly worried about what they think they're gonna do. You guys got very, very lucky. This is one of the games that went really, really well. Sometimes you get a game where you just can't get the bonuses to come up that you want, and unfortunately it has long-standing consequences and makes for kind of like a lame run. Luckily, it doesn't happen that often. I would say that 99% of my runs, I feel like I get cool stuff and have a good time with it. And so it's been only once or twice where I felt like I had a real humdrum run when it comes to the way my character felt and played. Fire Aura 3? Yes, let's do it. That guy right there, we gotta stagger him. Are there any champions left? Usually the champions bum rush you from all over the map, and so they should come to me if I just move around the map normally, I think. There's one. I knew they'd show up eventually. Let's get in here. Let's scrum it up a little bit. I'm just gonna kill him with a super attack real fast, because those little drainer orb things that are flying around are a headache. Now, after every single round, we do get a bonus. Sometimes you get keys, sometimes you get weapon parts so that you can craft new weapons, sometimes you get metagame currency. Just kind of depends. This time around, I think we're actually having like a banger of a day for metagame currency. 145 feathers for one mission isn't too bad. I think the most that I've gotten is like 250 or 260. Reduce my health by another 20 and I can get 1 to 30 holy damage on each swing. I'm gonna do it, dude. In for a penny, in for a pound. That's what I say. We're already here. We might as well give it a go. 1 to 30 is like no joke damage. Let me get to the next objective real quick, though. Next objective. What have you got for me? What are we doing here? Cull the Horde. Oh, this is easy. This is just killing monsters. We're going to get rushed by everything on the map, and we just got to kill like 150 of them. This is one of the simpler objectives that can come up. We should be about to hit the narrative objectives, though. I think the first guy was a narrative objective because he talked, and I think he actually went back to our base, too. Oh, my God. What are you? Okay. Yeah, I have no idea what you are, but you're very terrifying and sort of ring wraith-like. enemy variety seems to be pretty good. As you go through levels, they add new enemies. Like, you've got the little sword guys that have showed up on this mission, and they weren't really in the last mission. We've got those wraiths flying around now, which is pretty new. I think charging a special attack absorbs a hit and recovers the damage taken as focus. I'll take it. I don't know if it's going to be good, but I will take it. Let's clear out some of the sword guys over here, just with a little zesty stab. These guys over here, if I can get around behind him and break his... There we go. Get a nice parry. I saw that yellow. I saw that yellow coming at me. I got you with the parry, G. I got you covered. I'm looking this way. I'm looking that way. I got eyes in the back of my head. I got osos everywhere, bro. There's a giant one levitating right above my head right now. You thought you could sneak off a hit on me? You should have thought about it better. You should have thought about it better. Can't no evil touch me. I got the power of the Jeebus on my side. Look at all this magical Jeebus magic flying all over the place. Let's go... Deal 10% more damage when I'm at 80% health. Yeah, I tend to be above 80% health, so I'm cool with it. Let's do that thing. Weird attachment right there on that parry. I was trying to parry the Wraith, and instead I ended up parrying another thing that it attached to. That's the downside to animation-linked parries in a game like this, is sometimes it parries the wrong guy and then you take a hit, because this game doesn't do the Kung Fu movie thing where all the other enemies stand around while you're doing your parry animation and you're like executing the enemy. In this game, they can still hit you while you're in that animation, and so it can be a little bit of an impediment from time to time. Yeah, dude, let's just take 2% extra damage for every level up from now on. That sounds all right to me. I think I can live with it. We're almost at the end of the run anyways. I don't know how bad the boss is going to be on this map. He might be gnarly. Activate Shrine. Okay, so I gotta fill the shrine with souls. I've never seen this objective either. This is a new one for me. Just wipe them out and get as many souls flowing into the shrine as we possibly can. I'm just gonna use this as a level up opportunity. I feel like our build is pretty gnarly right now. There does seem to be a good variety of like movement utilities, healing utilities, stagger utilities, and also things that like auto cast and fire at the enemy. Like, that's one thing I like about the game, is that there tends to be a bonus that you can utilize in order to fix a uh-oh, this is really bad. That's super bad. He nerfed my damage down to like nothing right when I got caged. That was just bad timing. Let's go for when at 90% health, you get 25% more damage. Okay, so they're sort of like narrowing right now what they expect me to do. These souls are all following me. That's cool. They're like little skull puppies. Where's the other shrine at? Let's go find the other shrine. I think I have enough skulls following me that if I can find where the shrine is at, is there like steps back here? There is. Good. Little bit of like chugginess actually though. We're getting some frame dips right now for sure as this level gets more complex and as more skulls follow me. And I was not having performance issues inside the first mission, but I am getting a little bit of visual lag right now. We'll take the final level of Rage for the 6% damage every time we level up, because I think we've leveled up 4 or 5 times now since I picked up the 2% and the 4%, so we should be in good shape. We unlocked a new ability actually, Tool of Incision.
I'm glad you're here.
Sorry it took so long.
No, it's all right. Thank you.
I think, where's our next? Oh, we're fighting the Guardian next. There's a kid over here on the map. I don't know what she's doing, but hey, the House of Barter. Okay, what does she trade for?
This looks good. Shall we exchange?
She will give me Thunderstorm, which is a new ability if I give her an apple. I'm cool with it. Yeah, let's unlock a new ability. I'm always really, really excited about any type of lightning ability. I've told you guys this in the past, but when it comes to playing wizards in video games, I'm always a lightning wizard or like an ice wizard. Those are my two go-tos. I like the ice and I like the lightning. Even better if I can combine them together. If I'm at full health, I get 50% more damage. I'll probably just take Armor of Protection. That way, every now and again, I get a freebie because the bosses can hit kind of chunky in this game. Looks like it's back around that way. All right, summon the Guardian. Slay the Judge, the first Guardian Lord of the City. Is this the same guy I fought on the last level? I don't know if he is, but like I think the last guy I fought was also like some kind of judge or guy in a fancy hat. Okay, yeah, I know this guy. I know this guy and I know his abilities. We're going to parry him real fast to break his stagger, but he got us with a 28 damage hit right there, unfortunately. That still counted too, which is a little bit of a bummer. Luckily, I can just churn through some enemies to get my health back, so that's precisely what I'm going to do. Let's drag him into the courtyard over here, because if we bring him to the courtyard, he's going to be easier to murder. And all the mobs that I mulched on the way back, we've actually mostly got our health recovered right now. I prefer to fight him right here. That's what I like the best, and we definitely don't want our damage to be nerfed down to 1 by having one of those orbs on the field right now. Well, unfortunately, the big bastard doesn't want to drag, so I'm guessing his pathfinding is... Oh, we both missed each other with the super attack. Got a parry right there, though. And down he goes. We got Sacred Might. I don't know what that scroll does, but it seems like the game unfolds like every level. There's like 8 levels, 9 levels that I've seen when I was on the press build, and every single one unlocks like 3 or 4 more abilities and 2 or 3 more enemy types. I'm a little bit bummed out that the boss of the second area was the same as the boss of the first area, though. Like, I feel like every level should have its own distinct boss that goes along with the theming of where you're at. Like, the last place that I went to was the town square, and there was a scaffold there for hanging people, and so it made sense that the boss was like a headsman. Whereas for this level, we're in like a church map, so like, how come the boss wasn't like some kind of evil corrupted priest or something shooting corrupted holy lasers at me, you know? It loses something, I guess, in the theming. Let's go back to town and see how well we mulched everybody. Back to the Sanctum. So we killed 1,700 zombies. We made it almost to level 30. We got a bunch of metagame currency, which is great. And we unlocked a new ability that we can put on our Q key. And we unlocked a whole bunch of new things that can now come up inside the rotation. But I think I gotta, like, do some kind of unlocking or something when we get back to town, I think.
Tale, a song about a child dreaming awake, born of he who perished, and of she who devoured. Remember the story.
Stay strong.
You do get little narrative exposition Hades-style moments as you complete different bosses and levels and whatnot, too. Welcome back to the Sanctuary. Couple things you can do inside the Sanctuary. You can talk to your dad. Your dad is the reason why you're immortal. He can bring you back from the other side. You can spend your feathers over here on just basic passive increases, so like your AoEs are bigger. The amount of potions you can carry is bigger. You know, how fast you move is quicker. All that kind of stuff. You can also get more banishes, rerolls, damage, health, whatever you want to buy inside of here. I would probably go with extra healing. Being able to hold like multiple foods on me is a good idea. And later on, you do get a cook that you can buy meals from too. I remember that being in the demo when I played it through last time, and also in the press build. There's the little butcher shop down there. The other thing that you can do when you're here in town is you can talk to characters, or you can go to the blacksmith. The blacksmith will allow you to make new weapons that have Diablo-style affixes on them. I'm still using the basic sword, and I haven't had any problems clearing content. But if you find weapons, or if you find weapon parts, you can combine them. In combining them at a certain rarity, you will have everything from common things all the way up to legendary things, and each tier will add another affix to your weapon. The affixes that I saw were like flat physical damage increase 15%, flat fire damage increase 20%, you know, flat holy damage, that kind of stuff. I didn't really see anything too insane while I was filtering on through it. I'd like to show you some of the other weapon sets, but I had to reset the save over here to get off the press branch that had everything unlocked, because they gave me like all legendaries straight from the beginning, and I wanted to play the game en natural so that I could give you positive thoughts about the game. You know, I could give you some guidance as to whether or not this is worth a purchase. My thoughts are this game's strength are that if you enjoyed Witcher combat, Dynasty Warriors combat, Batman Arkham Asylum combat, and you made a mishmash of that, the combat feels good in this game. It feels chunky, it feels impactful, it feels like it flows properly, and I've had no problems with the overall fighting of enemies and slaying things that are all over the map. Other bright spots are the voice acting. Quite good. The storyline so far has been interesting, but honestly, it's not that thick of a storyline. It's more or less a pretext to get you to go out and slaughter more zombies. I have found the soundtrack to be absolutely phenomenal. So whoever did the soundtrack, you did a great job. Problems I ran into while playing this game, I ran into a number of bugs with characters' dialogue being missing. It was clear that they were supposed to be responding to my character, but it was only doing my character's dialogue, skipping their dialogue entirely because apparently it's missing, and going back to my next dialogue line. That's a level of jankiness that definitely needs to be fixed before this game goes to market. From there, the camera when you're on manual mode can get a little bit weird, and I found that the camera when you're in automatic mode is so far zoomed out that it can be difficult to parry things properly. That also runs into, once you've got a lot of spell effects flying all over the place, all of the little parry timers and all the little kind of parry triggers are difficult to see. And so anyways, that combined with performance issues that I've had with the game on a 4080 RTX nonetheless, or I'm on a 4090 RTX, this game does not look sophisticated enough to kind of like chunk out a 4090, and so you will get some lag and some stutters visually while playing the game, especially during busier moments. All that being said, I think this is a unique product that manages to refresh a genre that is quickly becoming boring, that is Vampire Survivors games, by cleverly hybridizing a number of other different systems from other games into itself in order to keep you from getting bored. If this game becomes available at like a $10 price point, and you like Dynasty Warriors and Batman Arkham Asylum fighting, I say go for it, as long as you don't mind that you're going to get some frame rate hitching, and occasionally the camera can be a little bit of a bear to deal with in certain environments, and there's bugs and stuff like that as well. Hopefully they'll get that all cleaned up, because I actually think they're on a winning path right here with Hordes of Hunger. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, it was Hordes of Hunger. Tomorrow it'll be something else. Thanks for hanging out, and that's all I got for you, folks. Goodbye.